Going on, y'all? Happy Friday. First and foremost, let me just say thank you for all the support on the first video that I dropped this week, the being stuck in one place. Yeah, I'm just glad that these topics are resonating with y'all. That's really the goal of it. The hope is that, everything that we talk about on Mental Monday, hopefully, clicks with someone and makes them just think. This topic today is going to be about a quote I heard recently when scrolling through the recommended feed of YouTube. I was rewatching also, just trying to timestamp my older episodes, and I came across this guy, Harry Ogbogu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. And he had said a quote. I was just skimming through this video. He said something that really resonated with me that I wanted to talk about on episode 7. I'll go and roll the clip now.
Your purpose now, if you allow it, is to release the need to be defined by how you were treated. Release the need to be defined by how you were treated by them, by life, by that situation, by that condition. You are not how you were treated. That's not who you are. That's something you can do now.
So yeah, we're just gonna get into that and sort of put it into our own lives, and how it, what it means to us and how it resonates. So yeah, if you'd like to join future episodes in the Discord, just DM me and I'll give you the Discord link. Other than that, the full episode is in the link in my bio here on Instagram. Enjoy.
Just in the meantime, I want
yeah.
you to elaborate on release the need to be defined.
So to me, it's sort of like a thing. It's about, it all ties into like self-worth, self-respect, all that sorts of things. It's like when we've known a certain thing for so long, when you've only known getting treated a certain way, when you've only known abuse, when you've only known getting, just all these things in your life. You can put it towards anything negative that happens in your life. When that's all you've known about a certain thing, when something comes along that's finally what you need, finally what you deserve. God's coming out and putting something in front of you, giving you what you deserve. We sort of, in a way, it's a way of rejecting it because we're being defined by how we've been treated before. In my specific life, in my circumstance, it was with, that quote relates to me in terms of in a relationship sort of sense, like it does for a lot of people. Because through every relationship that I've been in, there had always been a certain pattern, it almost became like routine, like at a certain point when things were like gonna end. And when you finally find something that's different,
tastes
like a vegetable to me, low-key.
Not that good.
Low-key. When you find something different, finally that thing that comes along, that one person, that one relationship that comes along, that just changes your whole perspective on things, it's hard to break out of that mindset and accept what's being put in front of you, because you're just so used to this other thing. This other thing was just always the way things were supposed to go, or so you thought. It was the way that you're almost been taught a certain way when, it's obviously wrong, but you think it's right because that's all you've been given. That's all you've been.
What makes you?
If all you've known in a relationship is abuse, all you've known is this, all you know is that. When you finally get something that comes along,
you have to recondition yourself.
To accept.
Because you've been conditioned to
believe that this is what you deserve. This is all you get.
Right.
This is all. That's all you're worth.
Because there's sometimes where that is your worth, that is your value, but you don't realize that until it's gone, and then you realize, we were at the same stage, and you know what I mean? I wouldn't have grown anyways because I was stuck by that person. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, I would say okay, I'm dating or whatever. And in the beginning when I was dating, I was around these people that I thought were cool. But at the same time, when they left and they weren't available, I realized dang, I could have done hecka better. But me, myself, I was growing in that too, because I didn't know what I wanted because I only knew what I was or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And that's what I defined my worth as, because I was still healing. I was still reconditioning myself from my past and the abuse or the neglect or the, you know what I mean? All those negative things that I didn't want. Exactly. But I didn't realize I deserved better. Because that, you know what I mean? Like you don't realize it when you're there.
Start off knowing that you know what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If you fall in love, then it's even worse, because then you're like, but I love this person, so I'm gonna accept them for who they are. And it's like, no, you're settling because you are so much better than, you know what I mean, this person, and you're only gonna continue to get better. And that's what you need to realize is you started with this person, and now you've got this person. Imagine what else you know what I mean? Like you're slowly getting better. Just keep it going, because as you grow, whatever's around you is growing. The same thing like those other, you know, friend relationships. The same thing as every other relationship. As you're growing, everybody around you grows, and if they don't, then they go.
Hopefully, you hope.
If they don't, then they go.
Exactly. Yeah,
because you're knowledgeable enough to know
whether they grow together or apart.
Exactly.
Together or apart. Exactly. That ties up to what we were talking about earlier about. Some people being at a certain point,
So, my take on that, why I'm impressed by that. So when you talked about it, it was in a sense of relationships.
Yeah, you mean any kind of. You could put that towards.
I'm gonna talk about this just in general. So whether you're growing up, right, all you could afford is one pair of shoes. Your whole school year, people are like, "Why you wearing the same shoes? Why you going the same clothes?"
I remember somewhere.
Why do you got this? Why do you like that? All this stuff. People are just saying all these negative things, right? And this is why I say, by the time for me personally, being in a situation where I didn't have money, that motivated me to get up and get a job and start buying clothes, right? Once I started buying clothes, because this is when I was younger, once I started buying like better clothes, certain better shoes, certain stuff like that, right? People then will be like, oh, I used to remember when you used to only rock this every day or whatever it is. It's like, bruh, I'm clearly dripped out right now. And you're trying to bring me back to a time where I was in a worse situation, right? For me, and this is a mindset I kind of had to grow out of, but feeling like I've been done wrong by a lot of people, and then you start getting the need to want to prove people wrong, and that's why I was hot. Because
if you're smart enough.
Well, this is why I got hot, because at a point in time, I was just getting all these nice clothes, all this stuff, just to not be that person anymore, just to not be brought back to that. But like I said, people will still bring me back to that years later. Like, oh yeah, like okay, like you fit it right now, like what you got on is cool. But I used to remember when you would come here and this, and it's like, bro, like that was 3 years ago. Like you're weird. Like, what you talking about before? And just that, and having certain friends do weird stuff, or having certain relationships go whatever way, just in a general sense, feeling like I've been done wrong by a lot of people. At a certain point in time, made me feel like I have things to prove to other people. But now, this is what I was gonna say earlier. But now, kind of as I've gotten a little older, focusing on my own path, by focusing on you and your own path and just going in that direction, you're gonna attract people. You're gonna attract certain energy towards you. You're gonna attract, if you're focused on this, whatever, you're gonna run into like-minded people who might be into the same thing as you. You might have known people from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and they might not be on the same wavelength because you were trying so hard to fit into this crowd or do whatever, right? And so that's why it just had me hot, because I thought back to the times where even, you know, still to this day, I'll have certain thoughts, like, it'll just make me kind of upset, like, really, like, I was really doing this. So, and like I talked about this in a different episode, I had always wanted a designer belt since I was younger, right? And didn't have the money to do it. So finally I got the money, I bought the belt, and I was at my girl's house, and I was looking at it in the mirror, and I was just like, bro, like, this doesn't make me happy. I had wanted this for so long. I felt like one of my older brothers, and there's a lot of people talking about, but a lot of people hype up all these things, right? If I had older siblings or older people like flexing it, and again, not showing me how to get this, they're just putting it in front of my face, and I finally get it. And honestly, made me a little bit sad. I'm like, bro, like, this doesn't make me as happy like as I thought it would. Like, this doesn't hit the way.
But the thing was, that wasn't really your goal. Your goal was to, like, you set a goal and you strived for it and you accomplished it. However, it was built on it was built on money or a brand or whatever it was, and that wasn't you. But that's what I'm saying. But that wasn't you. Right. That's what you thought you wanted because your friends were telling you, you know what I mean, like, oh, you're fucking whatever, and you wanted to be better than that. But that wasn't you, because at the end of the day, you didn't care about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got this, but if my shirt is down over, you can't even see that I have it on.
But that was going back to our last podcast when it says, enjoy the journey, or what was it?
You reach the goal, but skip the journey.
Exactly. Like, you reached your goal, but you didn't skip the journey because you didn't realize what you were doing in between, because you were being successful, you know what I mean, to save up money, to do all these things, and that's probably where your joy or whatever was, because you were striving to be something better. You weren't looking for the brand,
What I thought was
right?
better.
You were looking at the investment that you made to be better, right? Because of course a brand is better than Target, right? Michael Kors is better than whatever.
So we
But at the
perceive
end of
it.
the day, that doesn't define you because that's not who you are.
Nah, and because I always talk about it like I'm like 42 or something, but when I refer to me being younger, because this was all over a short period of time, I feel like I've done like a lot of growth in a short period of time, because I just turned 20 a couple days ago.
Oh,
But-
nice. I'm 27.
But like that was all over the course of like from 14 to like 18, and then after that, like being out of high school, like bro, like honestly it feels like I've been out of high school for like 5 years already. Feels like I really, after not seeing all these people on a daily basis, and I just noticed like bro, like I'm really not interested in what a lot of these people are doing. I'm really not. A lot of these people have a lot of petty issues with one another, and like for me, I was probably like the most social but antisocial person to meet. Like like me and my girl's first date, we were somewhere on the east side. Somebody I knew came up to me, shook my hand. She was just like, and then we go to the mall or whatever. I run into people I know, but would still have like a small social circle in the end of the day, regardless of how many people I was interacting with. But I was having a warped perception of reality, just because it's high school, like that happens. You're still trying to, you think you're older than you really are. Looking back, kind of when I was 14, I thought I was like way older. When I was 15, thought I was way older. When I was 16, thought I was a grown man already, right? And then kind of looking back on it, just kind of like laugh. Like I really thought I was in a different place of life than I really was. And looking back on it, like feeling like I was so naive. And really just shifted my focus, and we talked about this too, really just shifted my focus and putting my energy into bigger things. Like things change now. Like having more necessities, like I have to pay for this, or I can't just buy this belt now. Like did I pay my car payment this month? Did I pay my insurance? Did I pay this? Instead of just going out and buying this belt because everybody else has a belt. So kind of having to break away from that. People have said this or said that, and just doing what I'm supposed to do. So that's why, like I said, I was hot about it, because, I feel like I've dealt with that for a cool minute, and had to break away from that mind state. And I didn't even see that on the list earlier, I think, until right now.
So,
feel the job that need to be
I
played.
kind of touched a little bit on it. I mean, it's easier said than done for sure. Because me, even recently, in this, hold on, let's read what Lisa says. She says, that's true. I do feel like I end up dating the same types of guys related to what I feel deserve or am worthy of. Exactly. And that's why for me, I'm not dating right now, because I need to work on myself. Because once I establish my worth in myself, and once I understand what I want and not settle for less, then I'll be able to attract those people, because I'll realize, oh no, this person's not respectful. Oh no, this person, you know what I mean? And it might even be little things where it's like, a dude's gonna open the door for me. Sorry, I don't care. And if you're not opening the door for me, then thank you, next. You know what I mean? And it might seem petty or stupid, but at the same time, guys think, oh, or it's feminist and whatever, but that's where you get to know the girl, and that's where, you know what I mean, whatever. But at the end of the day, open the door. If she don't like it, she'll let you know.
I've been with my girl for 2 years. I've opened the door for her every day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly.
I never stopped.
Gotta do it.
I've had older men be like, I'm glad my wife didn't see you do that, because I'd be in trouble.
Yeah. That's just respect.
Yes.
That's just respect to me.
Have respect.
You know what I mean? Because you care for that person and you're putting them before you, literally, every single time. You're making sure that it's safe for them to get in the door, and you're opening the door for them, making sure, hey, go ahead. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be selfish and worry about myself getting in here. I'm going to make sure you're in here, you're safe, you're cool, and then I'm going to
looking at that like that's weird. That's not even weird. Like, that's just out of respect.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is. But that's what I'm saying. So, like Lisa was
think it's
saying,
weird.
for sure, you know what I mean? You gotta level yourself up, and you gotta know your value and your worth. And it's hard though, because I was working on myself for a little bit, and then I started dating. And I think I kind of went backwards, or, you know what I mean? Because it was like, well, it's better than what I had. So that's it, right?
okay
But
to
at the end of the day, it's like, no, I'm still settling, because it doesn't matter if it's better than what I had. Is it what I deserve? Is it what I wrote on this piece of paper of things that I want in a guy? Is he checking off all the boxes? Is he checking off most of the boxes? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to judge him, but I am going to set expectations of what I believe a man is going to have when I'm intentionally dating him. That's not to say that, you know, I expect him to text me every day or whatever it is, but I do expect him to put effort into our relationship, whether it's a friendship relationship in the
Yes.
beginning or whatever it is.
Yes.
I expect him not to tell me, "Oh, sorry, I was busy." Well, then obviously I'm not a priority then. Right? Because you're never too busy for things that you care about. You're never too busy for yourself. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you do all this stuff. You were too busy to brush your teeth. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that busy is a cop out. So yes, I am going to have an expectation on my list of puts in the effort. I don't ever want to hear you say, "Oh, sorry, I was busy. Oh, sorry this, sorry that." No, stuff your sorries in a sack and, you know what I mean? Hand it to whoever you want.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm not going to have an expectation of you calling me when you're at work.
You gotta make me apologize.
I would love for you to do that, but hey.
For no reason, just cause.
But hey, this is growth, right? Tomorrow or tonight or whatever it is, you know, hey, I better not say I'm busy because Mina's gonna call me out on it or
Because it's kind of like both of us. I'll never ask anything of her that I'm not willing to do myself. So I
Correct.
expect you. If I'm saying, can you, like, for me, if there's anything you want me to work on, we'll ask each other how you feeling. Is there
Yes,
anything you
and
want me
that's
to
a
do?
big one too, because you can't take that personally, and you have to understand that that person wants to be with you intentionally and they want to grow with you, and they're giving you that security that, hey, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna stick it out, and this is gonna be tough, but we're gonna ride it out together.
Facts.
Not just, hey, what do I have to work on because I don't want you to break up with me? No, that's not it. What do I have to work on because I want to build something with you, because I want to invest in myself and make sure
Facts.
that this is something that I really want to do. I'm not gonna waste my time, you know what I mean? Just integrating with you and basically numbing myself or dumbing myself down or just coming along with you with the ride, being your shadow. No, I still need to be an individual. I still need to be myself, but I do want your input on something that maybe you're saying that I'm not.
Is there anything that I that you wish I could do more of, or whatever it is? Because it's like, just be vocal. There's no way we could fix a situation that I don't even know that there's an issue with. A lot of the time, like, I'm good at knowing, okay, maybe she's feeling some type of way, or like, you know, she's off today, something's bothering her, so I ask her. And of course, I don't get the answer right away, but I still keep asking.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
It's
people
not
are
easy,
different.
yeah, but we never have to have the same conversation twice. And that's where, for me, action, like, speaking louder than words is very important, because if I say, if I ask her, like, what do you want me to improve on? She's like, well, you know, maybe I feel like if you could just show me off a little bit more or whatever. Like, people, for me, I'm a really private person. People don't even know how long we've been together. But, like, it would just be nice. She'd be like, it would just be nice if, you know, you could show me off a little bit more. Like, you know, like that. 'Cause
That's a female thing, because as females, we're insecure that we're not good enough. And that's not on purpose or anything. And as much as we build ourselves up, like, that's honestly probably, I mean, maybe 70%, maybe even more than that. We're always going to be insecure that we're not good enough.
And that part
Because
is okay.
we feel as females that we always have to put in work. We always have to do something. You know what I mean? We always have to put on makeup. We always have to make sure we look good for him, because if not, then he's going to go somewhere else. And that's not the reality. That's just what's in front of our face. Whether it's society, whether it's culture, whether it's people we're around, whether it's whatever, that's what we see. That's not what we want the reality to be, but that's what's presented to us that we have to grasp. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we have to fight against and understand that, oh, okay, that is an insecurity, but at the same time, well, that's easy to show her love. That's easy to hug her. That's easy to kiss her. That's easy to hold her hand so that people know that that's my girlfriend. That's easy for me to introduce her in the room. Hey, this is my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Hey, everybody, all this other stuff. That's easy to do, but at the same time, it's very hard for us as females to be like, hey,
And it's hard to ask.
because usually the guy's answer is, oh my gosh, you're so needy.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Hell no.
I make her know. I let her know that it is okay to feel that type of way. Like, I let her know.
Because
I'm not
you're a
judging.
secure person.
I'm not judging her.
Okay to
response.
want
Like,
something.
If you feel
Exactly.
something, I tell her, if you feel some type of way, because one of the things she does not like me, that based off of past experience, like, not with me, but just off of, like, you know, growing up, like, she doesn't want me to raise my voice. So no matter how upset I can get, she can roll her neck, do all this other stuff, and I just gotta stay calm with her. So I'm like, okay, so if I ask you this, so why didn't you tell me this sooner? Well, whatever, like, you know, okay, so did you think that I was gonna react a certain type of way? Like, have I ever yelled at you before? No. Okay, then. You should know it's okay to talk to me. Like, that's something that's one of the things that I don't have an issue touching bases on multiple times, because it's not always easy.
It's a reconditioning. It's a reconditioning.
So, like, okay, I'm letting you know now. Next time, if this is how you're feeling, just tell me. I'm not gonna snap. I'm not gonna be like, that's stupid that you feel this way. No, no. Like, if you feel some type of way about something, let me know.
Right.
If it's within, like, I'm never gonna make it seem like it's not within my power to achieve. There's no reason why after us having a conversation about something like that, I'm gonna hit her with, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't think, or whatever. Like, oh, like, I thought I forgot. There's no way I'm gonna forget this conversation. If it was something that was important to her and she's like, this is what I want, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that that's gonna happen. Again, it's like, I'm gonna take accountability, and if I messed up, that's my fault. That's my bad.
Exactly.
And to just make her, and I told her that too. Like, I even understood, like, I told her it's very difficult to, I understand it's difficult to be a female. Like, whether, and she was saying the other thing when we walked in the store, she was like, buying pads, buying all this other stuff is expensive. And she was chopping up with the cashier, and I was just like, dang, like, I was just standing there, like, you feel me, just not 100% understanding, but I have to, like, let her know, like, you don't have to do too much. Like, as long as I have basic principle with anybody, these are the few things that I don't feel like, I don't like being lied to. I don't like feeling like I'm being lied to.
Yep.
There's only like 3 basic things, just, and I clearly explained, these are things that I do not like. So if this is getting violated, whatever it is, this conversation that we're gonna have. Other than that, you don't have to worry. And you haven't been doing any of that this far.
Right.
So there's no reason why that's gonna happen. So again, if there's anything that she feels some type of way about, we're gonna make it happen, and it's not gonna be a conversation again.
Yeah.
Going back to the quote a little bit more, because I actually just thought about, I think another thing that I thought about with that quote is also, like,
Bro, what quote is it? Do you remember the quote?
I also put this on like myself, because I've always felt like through every relationship, I always felt like my, like, you know, issues and stuff would never be, you know, after a while, after a certain amount of people that you go through, you start to think that, you know, this is normal, or this is just how it's gonna be. And it got me thinking sometimes, to a point where, am I even, like, I'm never going to be able to make it work because of the things that I may be dealing with and the things that I'm going through. I'm never going to be able to. It was a thought at one point. Okay, like, is this as good as it's ever going to get for me? Like, is this all there is to it? Because every single time, every single relationship, or every single moment, it always comes down, like, to this. And, you know, you start to just condition yourself and self-sabotage yourself and think, like, oh, I guess this is all I'm ever going to be. This is all I can offer to someone, you know? Kind of like a double-edged sword kind of thing. Like, I can be, you know...
Are you saying in the sense you feel like you start questioning your worth? Or
yes, in a way that, like, no one is ever going to be like, okay, like, with this. That's my thing. I thought about that for a while.
Okay, with something that you're doing, the way that you are, like,
they're
gonna be able to accept you for the way.
Yes, because that's sort of how I had to, like, break out of that. It's an idea of, like, we talked about this last week. Like,
what she was talking about.
Yeah, so we talked about this last week, like, self-sabotaging. It's a way of just putting yourself down and thinking, you know, maybe this is just how I am. Maybe this is just how it is. Maybe. You can go on about that, like, all day, all night. You can pile that onto yourself, you know, for forever. There's obviously, it all just rolls back around to self-respect, self-worth, knowing who you are, knowing what you can give, knowing, you know, what you can put into this relationship.
Topics is easier said than done.
Yeah.
It just takes time.
Because that comes from your background. If you had a supportive family, if you had a family that showed you and voiced that they loved you, that they voiced that you're beautiful, they voiced that you're successful, they voiced that, you know what I mean, you're gonna be somebody or whatever it is, then of course that establishes your worth as well. If not, then you're working backwards. Oh, you're a clown, you're ugly, you're fat, even though you're not, right? all these other things, those start going, exactly, those start getting in your head. So now you're working from -5 instead of a 0, or you know what I mean, the other person was working at a 5 and they're trying to get to 10, exactly. And it's just a constant battle, because even if you get those two, hey, you're beautiful, hey, you're this, hey, you're that, that one negative is gonna go all, you know what I mean, it's not just one bump down, no, it's gonna go a lot. And that's why it takes time, that's why it takes a lot of time to establish your value. And then even after that, when you're in a relationship or when you're dating someone, realizing that they can't set your value, they can't, you know what I mean, they can't bring you down. You have to create that barrier, you have to create that security, you have to create, you know, all that stuff to really be able to evaluate at the end of the day, you know, what you took away from that person or that environment or whatever it is. And okay, cool, now I gotta let it go, because this is my, you know, this is what it really is. This is the truth. Those were all lies. This is the truth. And I need to make sure that at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, this is my truth, and I'm gonna wake up with the same truth, right? If there was something that I took away from that yeah, maybe I can grow on, cool. But I mean,
that's not just my truth today. That's
exactly,
exactly. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, because it's easy to be of value, and then you get into a relationship, and then that person starts judging you, starts being negative, starts doing all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. And then you start thinking you're not good enough. You start thinking all this stuff. You know what I mean? And I mean, I had to deal with that, and that was tough. I was in that in my childhood, and then I found somebody and it was better than my childhood, but it still wasn't what I deserved. Yeah. But that's what I thought, because I was at my breaking point. I was at, dang, somebody wants me alive. So they must be, you know what I mean? They must be the king of Egypt. Jeez. You know what I mean? They must be the ish. So I better stay with them, because they actually see me. They actually want me alive. Not even thriving, not even nothing. They just, hey, they don't want me to, you know, take my life. They don't want me to hurt myself. They don't want me to do that. And that's freaking sad. You know what I mean?
Like, and that comes to when you're saying not just the bare minimum, this many check marks or certain ones.
Exactly. And that's why, for me, I didn't have any check marks. Because like I said, it was just, hey, does somebody notice I'm alive? Does somebody notice I'm here? Cool. That's all the check I needed. But now, of course, I have other ones, but it's more about, like, I don't have that many expectations. I really don't. Like, if you want to be in a relationship with me, you're going to give me your time and effort. You're going to give me respect, and you're going to give me love. That's it. Whatever your definition of love is, that's it.
Don't violate the 3 and we're straight.
Exactly. That's all I want.
That's it. It's so simple.
That's it. Just don't violate.
That's it. And that's what I'm saying, that people make it, or guys, or even females make it so complicated because they start doing all this stuff. But it's like, no, because you're not working on yourself. Because you're trying to find that in somebody else instead of doing the work yourself and realizing that's something you need to give yourself, not something somebody else is going to give you.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
Right.
You got to do it for yourself.
And those things, I mean, respect, if somebody doesn't give you respect, they don't belong around you.
You're out automatic.
Yeah.
Automatic.
For real.
You can't even get past the step 2. Yes. That's step 1. Yes. Then we can move on to step 2. We can move on to the next step. Then we can jump to the next box. But if we can't even get past the first box, what are we doing here?
Then you don't belong here at all.
What are we doing here?
A certain amount of times and being able to recognize it, it's like, bro, you're really not about to speak to me any type of way right now.
Yeah,
like, I really feel
like, I'm a human, you're a human. What is there?
Yeah.
What is there that
like,
I'm
at
missing?
this point, for me, being able to recognize that, like, me blatantly just being disrespected, like, that's really when I'll be acting out of pocket. Like, bro, like, there was no need for that to be directed my way. And that's really one of the few times. That's really one of the few times where I'll act out of character or be quick to go back to old me and be hard-headed me. Like, if somebody just
because it's easy. Yeah.
It's
go back into your shell. Go back into your wall. Go put your heart back in your, you know what I mean, your glass case so that nobody can touch it. Yeah, it's easy. It's very hard to put your heart out there. It's very hard to be empathetic. It's very hard to care about other people.
Because people will be making it seem like it's too much pressure to be a decent human being.
Right.
But
it's not.
But it's not that hard. It's not that complicated,
it's really
bro.
not.
As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed that topic. You know, a big takeaway for me is, you know, we are, as Harry said, we are not as we are treated. We are not our problems. We are not our mistakes. We are not our upbringing, our negative. Yes, all those things are a part of us, right? Those are just things that make us. Those are things that develop us as people, as we grow. You can either take those things and you know, be... Another good quote, you know, Mike Tyson said, you know, you should be just roll the clip.
It's just not right. Even though you have the right to be that way, naturally it shouldn't be that way. We should all take our beatings in the end and just be humbled by them instead of being bittered by them.
So yeah, pretty much just saying we should take our beating and learn from them and not be soured by them, do not become them, because once we become our issues, we're consumed by them and we let it just take over our entire being. I'm guilty of this. I'm sure a lot of people are. We carry on past mistakes, we carry on past traumas, we carry on all these things and we let it just consume us. We let it, in my instance, become angry. And it's all that I carried was just, obviously to this day, I still feel there's still obviously anger there, but it's not to a point how it used to be, where it was just like my whole life, my whole being, and it just showed, you know what I mean? And now it's like I learned to let go of that and learn that these things obviously happen for a reason. And, I gotta just take them as lessons, take them on the chin and keep going and keep pushing. And that's just my big takeaway on this. As always, stay tuned for the next topics tomorrow and Sunday. And then, of course, Monday will be episode 8. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.